23%. That is how much your blood sugar drops in 90 minutes. Not from a new drug, not from insulin, not from anything your doctor prescribed, from something that has been sitting in your kitchen for years. And here is the part that honestly should make you furious. A study published in one of the most respected nutrition journals in the world proved this over a decade ago. Your doctor read it. Your endocrinologist read it. The American Diabetes Association published it twice. Nobody told you. And I think you already know why. There is no billing code for what I am about to show you. No patent, no prescription pad, no $400 a month refill. So here is what I am going to do. I'm going to walk you through 7 foods, all cheap, all available at any grocery store, all proven in clinical trials to lower blood sugar faster than most people realize. We are going to look at 3 things for each one: speed, how big the drop is, and how strong the published evidence is behind it. And the last one will surprise you. It works while you sleep. But first, and this matters, you need to understand something most doctors never bother to explain. Your blood sugar is not just about what you eat. It is about what happens to glucose once it hits your bloodstream, where it goes, how fast it clears, and what blocks that process. Most of these 7 foods do not just lower glucose. They fix the actual broken machinery that keeps glucose stuck in your blood in the first place. Let's start with one that most people completely overlook: green tea. And I do not mean the sugar-loaded bottled stuff from the gas station. I mean real brewed, unsweetened green tea, or even better, matcha. There is a reason Japanese tea ceremonies have lasted 1,000 years. That earthy, slightly bitter, almost grassy taste is not just flavor. It is a compound called EGCG, and it does something remarkable to your pancreas. When you drink green tea with a meal, EGCG slows down an enzyme called alpha amylase. That is the enzyme that breaks starch into glucose in your small intestine. So glucose enters your bloodstream, gradually a trickle instead of a flood. The spike flattens. The crash is gone. But EGCG also activates a pathway called AMPK, the same one metformin targets. The difference is metformin does it with side effects, while green tea does it with antioxidants. A 2013 meta-analysis reviewed 17 trials and found green tea significantly reduced fasting blood glucose and insulin levels. It's not masking the number, it's improving how your body processes sugar at the cellular level. Here is the reality most health channels won't mention. After age 60, your insulin receptor sensitivity declines roughly 1 to 2% every year. Green tea addresses that decline directly. So brew 1 cup of unsweetened green tea loose leaf or quality bags, not bottled, and drink it with your largest meal every day. But green tea is gentle. It's a helper, not a powerhouse. So let's move to something with even stronger clinical evidence. Fresh ginger root. Not ginger ale, not ginger snaps, the raw, knobby root you walk past in the produce section. That sharp, peppery burn comes from compounds called gingerols and shogols. And what they do to your blood sugar is remarkable. Ginger works through 3 pathways at once. First, it increases glucose uptake into your muscle cells without needing extra insulin. Second, gingerols inhibit enzymes in your liver that produce excess glucose process that accelerates after 60. Third, ginger reduces inflammation that damages your insulin receptors. A 2014 randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial gave type 2 diabetic patients just 2 grams of ginger powder daily for 12 weeks. The result? Significant reductions in fasting blood sugar and HbA1c. The placebo group had no change. Same diet, same meds. The only variable was ginger. After 65, something called inflammaging sets in chronic low-grade inflammation that corrodes your insulin receptors day after day. Ginger goes after that root cause. Grate about 1 inch of fresh ginger into hot water for tea, or toss it into meals. If you use powder, about 3/4 teaspoon daily. Just take it with food, not on an empty stomach. Now, ginger is powerful. But the next one surprised even me when I first read the research. Broccoli sprouts. Not the steamed broccoli you eat for dinner. The tiny 3-day-old sprouts that look like alfalfa. They contain a compound called sulforaphane, and it works at the genetic level literally. Sulforaphane reduces the expression of genes in your liver that drive excess glucose production. In type 2 diabetes, the liver constantly overproduces glucose, like a faucet stuck open. Sulforaphane turns that faucet down. In 2017, a landmark study in Science Translational Medicine tested concentrated broccoli sprout extract on obese type 2 diabetics. The results were striking significant reductions in fasting glucose. And here is the key. Sulforaphane targets a glucose production pathway in your liver that metformin leaves completely untreated. You could be taking metformin every day and still have this pathway running unchecked. You can grow these sprouts at home in a jar for pennies. Eat a small handful raw, about 100 grams. Do not cook them. Heat destroys sulforaphane. That brings us to a golden spice you probably already own. Turmeric. Specifically, the curcumin inside it. That deep golden orange powder that stains everything it touches. That stain is your medicine. Curcumin clings to inflammatory molecules inside your cells and neutralizes them. It calms chronic inflammation in your pancreatic beta cells, the cells that produce insulin. When those cells are inflamed, they malfunction. Curcumin lets them function properly again. In 2012, a study in Diabetes Care, the official journal of the American Diabetes Association, followed 240 pre-diabetic adults for 9 months. Half got curcumin, half got placebo. In the placebo group, 16.4% progressed to full type 2 diabetes. In the curcumin group, 0. Not one single person. Their beta cell function improved. Their insulin resistance dropped. I want you to sit with that. 9 months. Same starting point. One group took a spice extract, the other took nothing. And this was published in the ADA's own journal. So why isn't your doctor prescribing it? Because curcumin is not a drug. It can't be patented or marked up 30%. Now, a detail. Turmeric powder is only about 3% curcumin. You need either a standardized supplement or you need to consume turmeric with black pepper, which increases absorption by 20%, and a source of fat, since curcumin is fat-soluble. Golden milk made with turmeric, black pepper, and coconut oil works beautifully. If preventing diabetes sounds impressive, wait until you hear about the next one. It's been used for 30 years in India, costs less than $1 a day, and smells like maple syrup. Fenugreek seeds. Small, golden brown and bitter. Open a bag, and you'll notice that maple syrup aromate comes from a compound called sotalone. But the medicine is in the bitterness. Fenugreek contains a compound called 4-hydroxyisoleucine, which directly stimulates insulin secretion from your beta cells, but only when blood glucose is elevated. That means minimal risk of dangerously low blood sugar. Plus, fenugreek is extremely high in soluble fiber. When you soak the seeds, they develop a gel-like coating that slows gastric emptying, so glucose trickles into your bloodstream instead of flooding it. A 2014 meta-analysis of 10 clinical trials found that fenugreek reduced fasting blood glucose by an average of 17.6 mg DL and improved HbO-NEC. For a senior with a fasting glucose of 140, that brings it down to about 122. From a seed. Here is what to do. Soak 1 tablespoon of fenugreek seeds in water overnight. In the morning, drink the water and eat the softened seeds. If the texture bothers you, grind them into powder and add half a teaspoon to warm water. Take it first thing, 30 minutes before breakfast. Now we get to the one that should embarrass every endocrinologist who has never mentioned it. Cinnamon. But not the cinnamon you think. There are 2 types in every grocery store, and one of them can damage your liver if used daily. The one we want is Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes called true cinnamon. It is light tan, papery, and low in coumarin, the toxic compound in the cheap variety. The cheap stuff, cassia, contains roughly 250 times more coumarin. Daily use can harm your liver. Ceylon cinnamon contains a polyphenol called MHCP that mimics insulin. It binds to the same receptor sites on your cells and opens glucose channels on its own. That means glucose can enter your cells even when your natural insulin response isn't working properly, and it makes your existing insulin more effective. In 2003, a landmark study in diabetes care gave people with type 2 diabetes either 1, 3, or 6 grams of cinnamon daily. After 40 days, all three groups showed significant reductions in fasting blood glucosamine from 18 to 29%. At the lowest dose, less than half a teaspoon. Then a 2013 meta-analysis confirmed it, an average reduction of about 25 mg dl. Think about this. You've sat in your doctor's office while your Habaunek crept up. You were told to increase your medication, maybe add a second drug, maybe start insulin. At no point did your doctor say, "Have you tried half a teaspoon of cinnamon with your oatmeal?" Not once. Use Ceylon cinnamon only, 1/2 to 1 teaspoon daily. Sprinkle it on oatmeal, stir it into coffee, mix it into yogurt. Take it with a meal for the best effect on post-meal glucose. That brings us to the one they really don't want you to know about. The one that drops blood sugar 23% within 90 minutes of a single meal. And then, while you sleep, it keeps working, lowering your fasting glucose before you even open your eyes. Raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. 2 tablespoons before a meal or before bed. The evidence is definitive, multiple peer-reviewed studies. Replicated results, published in the American Diabetes Association's own journal twice. That sharp, sour smell? Acetic acid. It works through 3 mechanisms at once. First, it inhibits the enzymes that break complex carbs into glucose, so glucose enters your blood slowly. Second, it increases glucose uptake into your muscle, activating the same pathway as metformin, but faster. Third, and this is what makes it number 1, it suppresses your liver from manufacturing brand new glucose while you sleep. Your liver normally pumps out sugar all night long. Apple cider vinegar turns that down. Study 1. In 2005, researchers gave healthy subjects vinegar with a high-carb meal. Post-meal blood glucose dropped 23 to 30% within 90 minutes. Study 2, in diabetes care. Vinegar improved post-meal insulin sensitivity by 34% in insulin-resistant people and 19% in type 2 diabetics. The researchers concluded that vinegar's effect was comparable to pharmaceutical interventions. Their words, their journal. Study 3, also in diabetes care. Type 2 diabetics took 2 tablespoons of vinegar at bedtime. The next morning, their fasting glucose was significantly lower on top of their existing medication. The cost of apple cider vinegar? About 3 cents per serving. The average monthly cost of diabetes medication in the US is $400 to $10. The global diabetes drug market generates $47 billion annually. 3 cents versus $47 billion. Now you understand why your doctor never mentioned this. Here is your exact protocol. Before meals, dilute 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar in 8 ounces of water. Drink it 15 to 20 minutes before your largest carb-containing meal. Before bed, dilute 2 tablespoons in 8 ounces of water and drink it within 30 minutes of sleep. Always dilute, and diluted vinegar will damage your tooth enamel and esophagus. Use a straw. Rinse your mouth after. Look for the kind with the mother that cloudy strand in the bottle. But before you rush to your kitchen and try all 7 at once, stop, because there are combinations that can be dangerous combinations your doctor doesn't know to warn you about, because they never recommended these foods in the first place. Do not combine apple cider vinegar with metformin if you have kidney issues. Both lower potassium. Together, they can cause dangerously low potassium levels. If you take metformin, start with 1 tablespoon of ACV instead of 2, and monitor how you feel. Do not use cassia cinnamon daily if you take blood thinners like warfarin. The coumarin in cassia adds to the blood-thinning effect, raising bleeding risk. This is exactly why you want Ceylon cinnamon negligible coumarin, no risk. Do not combine fenugreek with sulfonylurea drugs like glipizide or glyburide. Fenugreek stimulates insulin secretion. So do those drugs. Together, they can push your blood sugar dangerously low, and hypoglycemia in seniors is a medical emergency. Do not take turmeric or curcumin within 2 hours of your diabetes medication. Curcumin slows the enzyme that metabolizes certain drugs, so your medication stays in your system longer than intended. Separate them by at least 2 hours, a simple fix, but you need to know about it. These are not theoretical risks. They are documented interactions. The reason your doctor doesn't warn you is because they don't know you're using these foods therapeutically. So tell them. Bring this list. Show them the studies. You're not going behind their back, you're going ahead of them. Let me give you a simple, step-by-step protocol. Start tonight. Before bed, take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in water. Tomorrow morning, check your fasting blood sugar. Write it down. Do this for 7 days straight. On day 3, add half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to your morning meal. On day 7, add fenugreek, soak it overnight. Then eat it 30 minutes before breakfast. By week 2, if all is well, add 1 cup of green tea with your largest meal. 1 change at a time, 3 days apart. That way, if anything causes discomfort, you know exactly which food did it. Check your fasting blood sugar every morning. Write it down. After 30 days, take that log to your doctor. Let the data speak. You are not replacing your medication. You are adding evidence-based, peer-reviewed, clinically proven food interventions to support what your medication is already doing. That is not radical. That is responsible. That is exactly what a healthcare system that actually cared about you would have recommended from the beginning. If this changed the way you think about managing your blood sugar, tell me which one shocked you the most. Was it the cinnamon study? The turmeric trial where 0 people progressed to diabetes? Share this video with someone you know who is fighting blood sugar issues, a spouse, a sibling, a friend. The pharmaceutical industry's ad budget ensures the algorithm won't show this to the people who need it most. The only way it reaches them is if you send it yourself. This is Senior Health Saga, and you just proved that the truth still matters. I'll see you in the next one.